football podcast for everyone and everyone else. I'm your host, John Buhler, lead writer, fanside.com. I'm joined today by a man who doesn't sleep anymore, who, if he put stuff in the claret jug, 2 beers would probably knock him out, but he's got to go to the grocery store later today. Cody Williams, content director at fanside.com. Hang in there, buddy. You're okay. How are you?
I'm gonna end up with the weirdest meal plan of all time for the next week because I don't have the mental capacity to be shopping for groceries. I don't have the mental capacity to be doing this podcast right now, but here I am, and it's gonna be a hell of a show for everyone.
Yeah, it's going to be one hell of a show. And this is going to be like our last, kind of semi-normal off-season episode. We've been planning what's coming ahead.
Football snuck up on us, dude.
Yeah. I get back from Key West completely sunburned. I'm like, oh, college football's about to start. But we'll have an American Pie themed episode. We'll do some Jailing with Coldplay tomorrow or next episode because, well, we have to.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, we've got, Coldplay is the new rage. They're making quite a comeback right now.
It's all yellow, I guess.
That's right.
Don't panic anyway. But then we're gonna roll up the meat sleeves for some sleevies in an episode. And then we're gonna do something called Summer Fling, which is basically anything but college football. And then we're gonna get into the hell of our preview, basically kind of following the same sort of setup we did a year ago, but a little more refined. But and then we'll probably start doing some YouTube shorts. It's gonna be great.
It's gonna be great, man. We need the summer fling. I feel like 2 times a week, you and I have been talking about college football for a year now. We have not had a non-college football episode. So I felt like before the season started, we needed a little palate cleanser just to let it all out.
Yeah, this time a year ago, I got destroyed by Athens and the Olympics and everything like that.
Yeah.
It was wild, but we need to have something. Gonna put no prep into it, but we did prepare for this episode.
That's right.
And obviously we false started here today on episode 193 here. We're gonna do our first 15 day with some Goldilocks. So the SEC media days were happening in my backyard here in Atlanta, and they voted on everybody who's all 16 teams. And I wrote about this for fanside.com. So I have 2 teams here that I'm too hot on, too cold, but I added 3 just rights and 1 more hot and cold here. So I'm gonna get started and just rattle off the 16 teams in order, and then we'll go from there.
Okay.
So we got Texas at 1, Georgia 2, Alabama 3, LSU 4, South Carolina 5, Florida 6, Ole Miss 7, Texas A&M 8, Tennessee 9, Oklahoma 10, Auburn 11, Missouri 12, Vanderbilt 13, Arkansas 14, Kentucky 15, and Mississippi State at 16. I feel so bad for Jeff Lebby, man.
Yeah, I'll start with it just right. Mississippi State at 16. I'm sorry. it's got to be said. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, sounds about right. But let's have you kind of go. Who is the SEC media collectively too hot on?
Does Nick Saban still coach at Alabama?
Nope.
Okay, then they're too hot on the Crimson Tide, man. That's where I'm not trying to pile on the Crimson Tide, but I'm looking at the 2 teams immediately behind them, LSU and South Carolina. I think those are better, higher upside football teams than what Alabama is. And I just don't it feels like there is a perception of what Alabama has been is what Alabama is going to be. And I just don't think we should be operating under that, under that preconceived notion.
Hell yeah, I pulled that, man. I love this. I'm right there with you. I wrote about this for fanside.com. Look, you're 1-2 with Georgia and Texas. It's 1-2 unless you have bias and you went to one of the other 14 schools. Most people would have them 1-2. I may have Georgia at 1. Yeah. You may have Texas at 1.
It's 1A, 1B, if we're being really honest.
And then the 3, 4, 5 are the right teams because for me, those teams, if you don't make the playoff this year, it's disappointment. Whereas the next 5 teams after, it would be really awesome if you did. But yeah, I wrote about this for fanside.com. Alabama's too high. I have them 5. And then I'd probably have South Carolina at 3, LSU right there at 4. But my thing is DeBoer just doesn't seem like he's making this his program. Whereas Beamer's this is definitely his program. Brian Kelly, this is definitely his program. It's and then I also think the big thing is I don't know if Alabama has enough dudes to get that extra gear. Maybe Ryan Williams has that, but he's only a true sophomore. He should be a true freshman. I think South Carolina has players like that have extra gears, whether that be Lenore Sellers, Dylan Stewart, Nick Harbor. There's going to be some other guy that's going to emerge on defense that could do it too.
Yeah.
Um, it's splitting hairs a little bit, but like Alabama, just they shouldn't be at 3; they should be at 5.
Agreed. 100%.
And I also mentioned Florida at 6. I think that's too high.
Yeah. Yeah. I was looking at them specifically being right ahead of Ole Miss, who
Yeah,
we've talked about. We're kind of coming around on like the more we think about what this Ole Miss team is. And like, yeah, I'm right there with you. Florida was one of my three that I had for too hot as well.
Ole Miss might go 10-2 this year. Like
Hmm.
they have a more navigable schedule. I would say it's them, Missouri, and I guess Tennessee are the 3 easiest in the SEC,
Yeah.
relatively speaking. But I think so much of this with Florida is they're baking it on like, oh, DJ Lagway is going to be good. And I would agree. And I think eventually Florida will beat Georgia. I don't know if it's going to be this year. It might happen. But the Billy Napier of it all scares me
Hmm.
because in those big games versus Texas, Ole Miss, LSU, you got to play Miami, A&M. You got
Yeah.
one of the toughest schedules in the country. Like there's crucial moments in those games where he just throws up all over himself and it basically completely shifts the momentum. He's been able to win a few of those games, but he's called Sunbelt Billy for a reason.
He is Sunbelt Billy. Sunbelt Billy's Bible bumper.
The Bubble Buckles. Have you started watching that show?
So Natalie binged it really quickly, and I caught like I have no idea what the through plot line is, but I've caught episodes, and it's absolutely killed me.
Oh my God. Please, like, just watch it and we'll do a themed episode, right? Just Gemstones.
I should I watch it like this evening when I'm just like dog s tired and like won't comprehend anything? Because I feel like that might be the peak of enjoyment.
The first episode's wild, dude. Big Pride.
Hell yeah, I'm ready.
And the other team I think that they're too hot on is Auburn. I think that
Okay.
like maybe you're, and again, like that was the third of 3 for me. You're
Mhm.
higher on Auburn than me. Hugh Freeze is not exactly winning people over. Jackson Arnold might suck. I think they've got a fantastic receiving core with Cam Coleman and Eric Singleton Jr.
Mhm.
It really comes down to if you can beat your 2 biggest rivals in Georgia and Alabama at home,
Yeah.
maybe you can, but at the same time, like there's an 8-4 ceiling here. If you don't win those 2 games, you're on 6-6.
No, and I mean you also have expressed some doubt in Jackson Arnold, which I think leads to a lot of our differences in opinion between when it comes to Auburn, which I think is completely fair because I'm just betting on the recruiting pedigree. That's truly all I'm betting on because I didn't see anything at Oklahoma from Jackson Arnold that made me think, oh, this guy's got it. Um, but my third team that I think they're too hot on fits the same bill though because it's a team you're higher on than I am, which is Texas A&M at 8. I don't quite see it. I would have Texas A&M behind Tennessee, Oklahoma, and Auburn personally.
Okay.
I and it's honestly the same reason too. I don't believe in Marcel Reed. I don't think this is going to work. I understand that Colin Klein is there, and I understand what Colin Klein is capable of with a mobile quarterback. I just don't think Marcel Reed's that good. Texas A&M's biggest like advantages that we saw from them last year with Marcel Reed was when we didn't know Marcel Reed was starting. Is when like it was is Connor Wegman gonna play or which quarterback are they gonna go with? That's when we saw the most success from Reed. Now you know what you're getting every time from Marcel Reed in this offense, and like that worries me quite a bit. Like I think with Mike Oko, yes, I expect the Texas A&M defense to still be pretty damn good, but I worry that there is a really defined offensive ceiling.
Colin Klein, we know you're tough.
That's
So I have Texas A&M and just right at like 8. So
okay.
not that much of a
And I
difference.
and I have Auburn in just right. So it really
Okay.
like they really are mirror images of each other and just our opinions on those two teams.
And what if I told you that there's a chance we may go 3 for 3, or at least 3 for 4, like with our too cold? I gotta go South Carolina, man.
Yeah, what are we doing? We know it's South Carolina.
I know. Nobody's like we're bigger fans of South Carolina than Darius Rucker.
100%. Only want to be with you, Shane Beamer. Only want to be with you.
The Cowboys make you cry, the Dolphins make him cry, the Falcons make me cry. This is false start. Yeah.
That's right.
South Carolina, I'm just trying to figure this out for my projections because I gotta figure this out. South Carolina, I think they're gonna go 10-2 this year.
And I think they're 10-2 with 11-1 upside. Truly, I do.
Yeah, like you have some tough road games like at Ole Miss, at A&M. You probably drop those. Maybe you win Clemson. Maybe you beat Alabama. You got at LSU. You're gonna have some pellets in the wall. Again, this is kind of why you and I are thinking like probably gonna make the playoff.
Yeah, 100%. And Again, I much like with Alabama, I don't want to exhaust too much oxygen just because we've talked a hell of a lot about South Carolina, but I saw them at 5 and I was like, yeah, we're both gonna have them here for sure.
Okay. So who's the other teams you want to talk about?
So I only have well actually I do have two colds. And one of them is kind of conditional. I'm gonna qualify it as this. We talked a couple weeks ago about Arizona, the Big 12 not doing their media poll and like who because of Arizona State being picked last year and winning the conference. I think the team that can make the SEC media look the dumbest is Oklahoma.
Yes.
Now, there's a chance that Oklahoma ends up being just right at 10 because they do have an incredibly difficult schedule. And last year, obviously, was not very pretty for the Sooners. But you have Arbuckle coming in, you have Mateer coming in, you have Jaden Zach Ott coming in. Like you have offensive when offense was the issue a year ago. Like you made wholesale changes on that side of the ball. I still believe in Brent Venables as a defensive mind. I'm dubious of him as a head coach, but I'm still like, it's not been a incredibly normal situation in Oklahoma the past few years. So like, I'm leaving the door open that maybe they can turn things around. There's a world where if Oklahoma everything clicks, this team is a top 5 team in the conference pretty easily. And so like it's not out of the realm of possibility that they can win the conference. Not likely, but not out of the realm of possibility. And so like I feel weird putting them in 2 gold because I think 10 is probably right based on the unknowns. But I think of teams that can make the SEC media look the dumbest, it's definitely Oklahoma.
Yeah, I wrote about them for fanside.com as well too. I think I've got them going 7-5, but like a really good 7-5.
Yeah, yeah.
They got a really tough schedule here. And again, you mentioned all the points with Mateer, Arbuckle, and Ott. Like that should be a law firm. They defend people that frack oil. That's what they do.
The frack oil and people who got too sunburnt like Brent Venables.
Crispy Brent Venables.
That's right, man.
But yeah, Oklahoma, like I mentioned this, so I'm doing a weekly news hit Friday at 5:05 with Rich Quinones on Middays with Q. So he brings me on there. He always promotes our shows and my podcast and everything like that because I've got hella great insight.
Thank
But
you,
he says,
Rich. I appreciate it
yes,
greatly.
yeah, he's always a friend of the show and everything like that. He's like, who's the SEC kind of down like? And I think it's Oklahoma. We've kind of come full circle about this just
Yeah.
because offense was so bad a year ago. Defense has been pretty good. Again, like I don't know if they're going to beat Texas. If you do, maybe you can make people look stupid. I mean, there's a non-zero chance that like they do beat Texas.
No, it's non-zero. Like this has a chance to be a really dangerous team. And also, like, I think even if they're not going to win the SEC, even if they're not going to make the college football playoff just by the strength of the schedule, like they're still a talented enough and they're going to have enough schematics that I think they can beat anyone on that schedule. And like I think that's a very key component when you're talking about this team.
100%. And the last other team I gotta say is Vanderbilt, man. The live
Brother,
dog.
yeah, that's the other one I had. Hell yeah.
They're 13. They should be like 11.
Yeah.
And again, you've got Diego Pavia back here. We'll talk about this in a second. You've got the best tight end in the country, and Eli Stowers. You've
Mhm.
got Clark Lee back at his alma mater, feeling good. Jerry Kill's still there. Barton Simmons is still there. They're going to get somebody pretty good here. Again, I haven't gone through their schedule yet. Probably going to be 6-6, 7-5, but like they're going to beat Auburn again because that's what they do.
Right. Yeah. I mean, yeah, Hugh Freeze can't handle it. Like that's just what it boils down
No,
to.
no, he can't handle the Mexican tailgate in the
He
CFL
he can't
state.
handle he can't handle it when it gets effing turnt, man. I don't know what to tell you.
He just thinks it means to turn your burner phone off.
That's which he never does.
No, he just breaks it. And then just right. You've mentioned Auburn. I've mentioned A&M. Anybody else that fits that bill for you?
I also mentioned Mississippi State because it's very just right. I think having LSU at 4 is probably the right spot.
Yeah.
Like I would swap Alabama and South Carolina, but I like LSU in that 4 spot. And I think they make a lot of sense there. And like I think putting a team like that at 4 makes a lot of sense because if they reach their ceiling and like all the defensive changes that they made work out, this team could absolutely win the SEC. There's no question about that. We don't know if that's going to happen, but also if you're the SEC media, you don't look dumb if that happens. If the team you picked 4th wins the league, like that just happened. But also if they, if things don't go to plan, they kind of they kind of are what they have been the past few years, and they're like 6th or 7th in the conference. 4 still doesn't look that bad either. So like I think 4 is right where LSU needs to be because of where their variance level is.
Yeah, like doing their schedule run through like I don't know if they're gonna have that many pelts in the wall. Like at Clemson, I don't think they're gonna win in
Yeah.
that Death Valley. You got to play South Carolina, you got to play Alabama, you got to play Ole Miss. If you get two of those wins and you go 10-2, you're going to make the playoff. But like, I don't see them getting to Atlanta unless Garrett Nussmeier wins like the Heisman, which he most certainly could do. I have questions about Blake Baker's defense, and
Yeah.
obviously Brian Kelly. Well, bookends each season with losses. That's like it's his job, dude.
He's a bookend maker. I don't know if that's a lucrative business, but it is for Brian Kelly.
You take the man out of Notre Dame, but you can't take the Notre Dame out of the man.
That's right. He's well read because all the bookends.
I don't know if you saw this. Charles Giuseppe hurt himself on an ATV, so this guy's like not playing again. So, like,
Brother, not again. I miss that. Damn, that sucks.
uh,
All my news cycle has been from like 2 a.m. Mountain Time to 2 p.m. Mountain Time for the past week.
God, you are a legend, man. Yeah, right there with you with LSU, and I guess the other team that I had kind of in the same vein with Mississippi State's Arkansas. I've got them at
Yeah,
14.
yeah. I
It's
honestly I think the bottom three are pretty right. Like Arkansas, Kentucky, Mississippi State. Like it's really hard for me to pick any bones with that.
like I think Kentucky's going to be really bad, but like they may win a game, like they may beat
Yeah.
Tennessee or something like that in a rivalry game. But
I mean, it's
like,
Mark Stoops. Like I'm fully prepared for Mark Stoops in Kentucky to go like 8-4 this year because no one thinks they're going to be any good.
well, like in a 16-team SEC, you're looking at what 12 to 14 teams making a bowl game. We don't think that Kentucky or Mississippi State are going to do it. And then you got the Arkansas, the Auburns, the Vanderbilts. I'm trying to think who else is in that category. Missouri.
Yeah.
Yeah, they may have they may have a challenging year. We'll talk about Missouri here later, but like
Yeah.
Arkansas is kind of probably slightly better than them than
Yeah.
Kentucky and Mississippi State, but not by much. Sam Pittman's got to recruit.
Yeah, we need something from the pit master.
The ribs don't cook themselves.
That's right. That's right.
And clearly it don't mean enough here. So we're gonna move on to our second SEC Media Days topic. 3 or 4, I don't know. Very, very much dominated the headlines this week. But
Yes, sir.
we looked at the preseason all SEC teams from SEC Media Days and just some prevailing thoughts, nothing too concrete or anything that you've noticed. Really happy to see Lenora Sellers be QB1.
Yeah, and I mean, I was actually going to start at the quarterback position, just kind of at large. And first off, shouts to our boy Lenora Sellers. We love to see it, getting the love that he deserves as QB. First team All SEC preseason. Going to be first team All SEC regular season when we get to the end of it. I promise you, I'll put some stake in that. But we've seen a lot of, and I know I believe you wrote about it for fanside.com. Maybe it was Chris Lander. Someone wrote about it for fanside.com, but Arch Manning not featured. Like, that's a good thing to see. Like, I think that the worst thing that could happen for Arch Manning for this to be like a normal college football quarterback who has hype behind him, but like, I think the worst thing that could happen is him to be given everything before he earns it. And like, to be clear, I think he and the Manning family have done a good job of trying to avoid that to this point. Like, he didn't transfer away from Texas. He waited his turn behind Quinn Ewers, which was the right decision, I think. I think he's going to be a better quarterback for doing that. But he's also played 2 meaningful games in his college football career right now. When you have someone like Nussmeier and Sellers who have not only played way more games, but also proven that they're very damn good. Like, I was appreciative to not see the SEC media just get, be Paul Feinbaum and just all over Arch Manning.
Well, he's the third team, which pisses me off. It should be John Mateer, Diego Pavia.
The third team doesn't count though.
No,
I didn't even scroll down to the third team.
No, I was just like trying to get like an idea of what's going on here. Some of the things that I thought were crazy. So, this is very good for Texas and Georgia and very bad for Alabama. Let me explain. So the first team, offense for Alabama, you've got Ryan Williams and Caden Proctor. Okay, that makes sense. Don't see anybody on first team defense for Alabama at all.
Yeah, which I mean, that's supposed to be the strength of their team. Let's be clear about that.
Whereas, like, you've got 3 guys for Texas on first team defense with Colin Simmons, Anthony Hill Jr., and Michael Taft. And then Georgia, you've got 4 with Christian Miller, CJ Allen, KJ Bolden, and Dalen Everett. Georgia's going to have a filthy secondary.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And also, all the first team specialists are all Georgia players.
That was my next takeaway. Love to see that. That's the funniest thing I've ever seen.
I mean, maybe you could probably go Trey Smack over Peyton Woodring if for kicker, but like Brett Thorson's clearly the best punter. And then didn't know Branch was the all-purpose special teams guy, but I'm happy to see it. Bill Gardner, shout out to you, bud.
I mean, he should be. Like, he's pretty electric with the ball in his hands. So, like,
He
get him the
is.
ball in his hands.
But like you go down the second team and you see the more guys for Alabama on defense, like Tim Keenan the third, LT Overton, Deontay Lawson, Damari Jackson, a friend of the program here. But like that's going to be the difference between Alabama making the playoff and not. And then you've got other guys on like what Jam Miller at a third string running back again, a guy that I think is
Yeah.
very good. But like too many cooks in the kitchen. And again, like the only guy that I really think is just truly special in this Alabama team is Ryan Williams.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. Like, I think when you look at Alabama, and like one of the reasons we are as pessimistic as we are is this is a good football team. I don't want to like my disdain for them being ranked third in the media poll or like all the other things I've said this offseason about Alabama to come across where I'm like, this team's going 7-5 or something. I don't like they're too good for that to happen. DeBoer is too good of a coach for that to happen. Like I still think he's a good football coach. This just isn't the Alabama that we're used to, man. Like Alabama under Nick Saban, we'd look at this defense and it'd be like, well, there's a first round draft pick, and there's your first round draft pick, and there's a first round draft pick. And like that was every single year you were looking at that Alabama defense in that exact same way. The same way we're looking at Georgia's defense nowadays. And under Kalen DeBoer, that just isn't there. And then you throw in, like you said, the too many cooks in the kitchen when it comes to the coaching staff. Like, I just think that this Alabama team has a very defined ceiling.
Got a lot of tough games too.
Yeah.
Again, you got to play Tennessee, who's again, if Nico is there, that would make a huge difference. That's the other thing I was going through. Like, if he was there, how much higher would it be on Tennessee? It'd be considerably. Like, they're kind of an afterthought of this.
Yeah. I mean, I've voiced my disdain for Joey Aguilar. Like, I don't think he's very good.
No, trying to think about anywhere else on here that kind of stands out to me. Just looking at some of these names here.
I mean, it's kind of funny that like LSU's three best offensive skill position players are all on the second team. You have Nussmeier, Durham, and Anderson, like all there on the second team offense. Like, spoiler alert, LSU is going to be able to score a lot of points. Like, we're here again.
Yeah, and then you see like, there's some names from Oklahoma and Auburn, which kind of like, led us to believe like, okay, these are teams that have like certainly high upside. Florida as well. I really wish I'd see more Ole Miss on here, but there's some, but not as much as, but maybe it's just kind of like, I'm trying to think what the word is like, there's just so many unknowns there. I think like Lane Kiffin's going to coach them up. That's kind of my big thing. Like
I was going to
Austin
say,
Simmons and stuff.
like, I feel like we just kind of the issue of why we were a little like why we've grown to what's the word I'm looking for? Like grown to respect Ole Miss in the 2025 season and their outlook a little bit more is like kind of coming out of last season. They lost so much and so many big names for what that program was and has been the past couple of years that it feels like, and we got to remember this is the SEC media. Like not all these guys are covering guys and girls, excuse me. I didn't mean to be, exclusionary there, but like all these people are not covering Ole Miss like to the T. Like they're covering the SEC at large, but they're a lot of the times they're beat writers covering their like SEC teams and stuff like that. There's a good chance that a lot of these SEC media members just don't know a whole lot of Ole Miss, like who Ole Miss is going to be throwing out there. But we trust Lane Kiffin as a coach. We trust him as a recruiter and in the transfer portal as a recruiter. And like you got someone like Austin Simmons, who obviously wasn't going to crack he's probably not top 7 in terms of if you're doing preseason like rankings for quarterbacks. But like, regardless, like this is still a talented team and a team that I think can overachieve preseason expectations.
The thing that people are overlooking with Ole Miss considerably is they have a great coaching staff.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so Pete Golding is still the defensive coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Judge is on here, which is like
Hell yeah.
again, like how is he turned heel? He's going to Ole Miss as opposed to Mississippi State. His brother Chris Kiffin's on the team. Charlie Weiss Jr.,
Mm-hmm.
Joe Cox, go Dogs. And then I don't know if you knew this. You know who the running backs coach is?
Please tell me.
Guys remembering dude's all-star. Former UCF legendary running back Kevin Smith.
No way, dude.
Yes.
Oh God. You know what? Forget everything I said. Ole Miss win the national championship. Like that's where we're at.
Yeah. We do remember dudes. We're gonna talk about him. That guy, core memories of this dude just tearing it up.
100%. Shoulder pads bigger than an offensive lineman. Absolutely love to see it.
Yeah, Ole Miss might make the playoff, dude. I'm starting to kind of get there.
Yeah, like it would be just pitch perfect for Lane Kiffin to finally make the college football playoff in a year where no one expects anything from him and his team.
No, it's like what the 1 year Arizona won a national championship under Lute Olson. Like
Yeah.
Miles Simon got hurt, they did that. I mean, nobody really saw. I mean, Tom Izzo's made a career out of this.
Yeah, like Shane Beamer is the ultimate front runner. Lane Kiffin's the opposite of that, like the back runner. I don't know if that's a term, but
The back burner.
yeah, man. Like you like put him on the back burner, you're gonna get burned. That's Lane Kiffin's MO.
Yeah, he's the guy who's got like this. He's got like 6 different stews on the stove. The one on the back has been cooking like for decades, and it's so good. It's like, yeah, my dad started making this at NC State when he was that coach, and it sits here now.
It's the umami that they have there in Raleigh.
How'd you transport it? Hot plates.
That's right.
Um, yeah, Al Davis was not amused. That's why I got fired.
That's right. That's right.
You got any other thoughts about this? But I think I feel pretty good about this. Like, I love that first team offense is dope with Sellers, Trey Wisner, Le'Veon Moss, Ryan
Mhm.
Williams, Cam Cole, and Eli Stowers. I don't know much about the Florida offensive lineman or DJ Campbell that much, but I know Caden Proctor and Caden Green are filthy.
I think Barber has a chance to be a first round pick, if I'm not
Mhm.
mistaken. I think there's a lot of people who are really high on that kid.
Imagine if Mizzou still had Mimbu. I don't know if he had eligibility with him and Caden Green. That would be just
I think he did
heartbreaking.
have eligibility. I'm pretty sure like that was one of his selling points is that he's hella young.
Oh yeah, gonna get hella broken for the hella Jets.
That's right. Hey, what's ever gone wrong for the Jets drafting anyone in the first round?
I don't know. It's not good, and this is not good, Bull. I'm gonna move on to our next topic here. It has hit the fan in so many different ways there in the other Queen City in Cincinnati, Ohio, with their
Thank
first.
you for that, by the way. The other Queen City. God almighty.
Well, it's what
Charlotte's been here a lot longer.
Charlotte of Mecklenburg. Like it's called the Hornet's Nest because you wanted to chase the British out. These
Yeah.
people are crazy.
Yeah. Don't mess with the North Carolinians, brother. We're first in, you know what? Ohio, get off my lawn. We're first in flight and we have the real Queen City.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to a very, very fierce National League rivalry between the Cincinnati Reds and the Charlotte Knights when they join.
That's right.
Like you and I both know it's going to be the Charlotte Knights and Nashville Sounds. Like
Oh
that's
yeah,
what's going to be.
100%. I think Bob Nightingale actually had something about that today.
Yeah, he probably didn't talk about the Braves either. He first.
He did. He did actually talk about the Braves. He
No,
said that they weren't going to trade anyone.
he probably called him Atlanta the whole time. Coward. Speaking of other names coming back, no, we're not
No,
doing that.
that's not the segment. That's not the
No,
segment.
no. But Mike Elko has made it a point to say that even though Shemar Stewart's been practicing and training with his A&M buddies, he's not going to come back. And look, Stewart just wants to play for the Bengals. That's why he turned pro after having averaging 1.5 sacks the last 3 years.
Right.
Then they still haven't signed their second round pick, Demetrius Knight at linebacker, but they brought in a UC legend, Falcons quarterback, Desmond Ritter.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did. They'll pay anyone but Shemar Stewart and Trey Hendrickson. I swear.
It's such a this is I was talking about this like on a blog and dirty last week. I'm like, we haven't seen something like this since the 80s with like
Mhm.
Bo Jackson. It's like, I'm not playing for the Bucks.
Mhm.
Or like Kelly Stoffer's like, I'm not playing for the then St. Louis Cardinals. I would rather stay at Colorado State, but he plays for the Seahawks. And like, it's so wild. Like, we shouldn't be doing this in 2025, but here we are.
And like I think the thing that stands out to me is like from everything I've read, and maybe I'm misunderstanding the situation. I always leave room open for that because I'm not a smart man. But like I do like this seems to me like you mentioned, back in the 80s, we'd be looking at like, I don't want to play for the Bucks or whatever. This isn't a I don't want to play for the Bengals situation. This is a gripe over the Bengals language that not every team has in their contract over how
Right.
much money is guaranteed if Shemar Stewart were to get injured. And like what that amounts to me is the Bengals are being cheap, which,
Yeah.
whoa, shocker. They've never done that before. But like, this is like it. I don't even blame Shemar Stewart for the situation. Like, do I think he's a great prospect? I'm higher on him than you, but I still don't think he's like the elite of the elite. Like, he has great tools, but he has never put them together on a football field. But at the end of the day, like, If you're the Bengals and you like this guy enough to draft him 17th overall, what the hell are you doing right now? Like, just guarantee the money. You just gave T. Higgins and Jamar Chase more money than God. What are you doing?
Like, I guess two thoughts here. So first off, they would have done this with anybody they would have taken at 17. They would have done
It's
this with
true.
Walter
It's true.
Nolan. They would have done this with your guy, Donovan Izaruku, who
Mhm.
signed. He's going to be awesome for your Cowboys.
Can't wait, baby.
How does he go to? How does he fall to 44? I mean,
I
anybody who's good at Boston College is good at the NFL. It's
the
to a T.
the Cowboys have some voodoo magic that they work in the second round. Because let's not forget Trayvon Diggs, also a second round pick. There's someone else I'm totally forgetting off the top of my head, but like people just followed the Cowboys in the second round. Don't understand it. Just has happened like 60 times. Oh, Tony Pollard. Tony
Yeah.
Pollard fell to them at the end of the second round. Like I'm pretty sure they were picking like 60, not 60, no, 56.
And it's the same sort of thing too. Like when a guy's good at Memphis, he's usually good in the NFL outside of Paxton Lynch.
Yeah, I mean, especially skill position players for the most part. Well, running backs, not wide receivers so much.
No, but the Boston College hit rate's ridiculous. It's
Yeah.
like Matt Ryan, Luke Kuechly, Harold Landry, Zay
Do you
Flowers,
think Bill O'Brien doesn't know how to
Chris
coach up an
Lindstrom.
NFL prospect? Like Jesus.
Like that's why I think God, who's the Dylan Lonergan's gonna be really good at
Yeah,
some point. Yeah, like
100%.
it's but then the other thing is like there is a situation that's similar to this. The other one of the other members of the unholy triumvirate of cheapness in the NFL. I don't know if the Commanders are still a part of it. The Chargers absolutely are. They
Yeah.
did this with Joey Bosa out of Ohio State like a decade ago.
Mhm. Yeah, and I
Is that
mean, it's so stupid. And like I read something from Benjamin Albright, I believe it was,
mhm.
insider who works out of Denver. He's a Broncos insider, but he also has a lot of national intel. I actually trust him more than I do a whole lot of other insiders because he's just talking about what he's hearing, not getting fed stuff from agents like some other people who shall not be named. But he was basically saying that like even if Shemar Stewart wanted to go back to college, he actually can't eligibly play college football anymore.
No.
So like this is literally his only option unless he wants to re-enter the draft next year, which if you're Shemar Stewart, you can't do, which if I had to guess on the Bengals being cheap, that's what they're banking on is they're like, eventually he's just going to break down and sign this contract. But if I'm Shemar Stewart, I don't re-enter the draft. I just hold the Bengals for ransom for their money.
They do this with everybody too. Like they did this to Andrew Whitworth, like one
Mm-hmm.
of the future Hall of Famer, Super Bowl champion, Walter Payton winner. Like
Also
just
a
all,
great analyst. I love Andrew
yeah,
Whitworth on the TV.
he's just great, man. I think he
Yeah.
was like Nick Saban recruit for LSU. I think if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Yeah. One of the few people who I'm very sure has a bigger head than I do.
Yeah, that guy's got hot dogs in his brains. He's just cooking up there.
Dude,
He's a big dude.
him and I don't know if you ever heard this. I'm derailing the show because this is just where I am
That's
currently.
fine.
Bruce Bochy apparently has the biggest dome of all time.
I've heard of that. Yeah,
Yeah, it's like do you know anything about hat sizes?
yeah, like
Okay,
eight.
I'm pretty sure his is 8 3/8. I'm a
What's your
7 3/4.
okay? I'm like seven. I'm like seven and like 3/8, five
Yeah.
eighths, something like that.
Like
Like
the normal range that you see the most of is like 7 1/8 to like 7 1/2. Like that's like normal head size. That's what they sell the most of. Like I have a hard time buying fitted hats because they don't make a lot of 7 3/4 or 7 7/8, which is what I need to fit my head.
I'm a snapback guy, so like
I am
I
too
don't.
because
Yeah,
of that.
yeah. So my dad's best friend played AAA played in the Padres organization. Like kind of came up with Bochy. Like basically after Bochy retired from playing, and then he got into manager. I think he played for him under like the Las Vegas Stars. So he was coming
Okay.
up at the same time. Like I guess Gwynn was already there, so Kruk was coming up. Benito Santiago was like the big prospect.
Hell yeah.
Trying to think who
Talk
else
about
was like
guys remembering dudes. Benito
yeah.
Santiago.
Yeah, I think that their double A was in Scottsdale or was in Phoenix area, and then their triple A was the Las Vegas Stars.
Okay.
Again, let's get rid of the A's, be the Las Vegas Stars, and just start over again. Get rid of John Fisher, just throw in.
Please.
Also, can we stop buying stuff from the Gap and Old Navy for 4th of July? He doesn't deserve that money.
He does not at all.
You know, we can boycott Target. We can boycott anything in America. We just don't. This guy's ruining baseball.
I got my 4th of July garb from Target, so I didn't boycott.
No, I went to Publix today.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Bruce Bochy, apparently I did know he has a giant head. Can they like induct him into Cooperstown like while he's still coaching the Rangers?
I mean, that'd be sick. I want to see it happen.
I mean, he's probably the best manager I've ever of my lifetime.
He's up there. He's up there for sure.
Like, I think he's better than Bobby Cox. I think he's better than Joe Torre. Like, he's won 4 World Series. He's been to a bunch of other ones.
I don't know, man. Aaron Boone's probably headed right there as well.
Yeah, no, Aaron Boone, Brian Snitker right there, Alex Cora, and this is false
That's
start.
right. We love all the decision makings
Actually,
happening around our
actually,
teams.
best manager is probably Dusty Baker in
Yeah,
retrospect.
yeah.
Yeah,
Dusty Baker's damn good.
just Dusty Baker's damn good too. Joe Madden, I don't know what he's doing, but he's doing something
He's
now.
insane. He's just an insane person. Had a lot of
Um,
success, but good God Almighty, is that man
God,
insane?
he's the Ozzy Osbourne coach, he's just doing lines of ants in the pool.
That's right.
Watch the dirt, and we'll leave that part out there. But anyway, Mike Elko.
my yeah, shouts to Mike Elko. Tough for Shemar Stewart. Really, like truly, like we rag on draft prospects, we rag on players, we rag on coaches, but like at the end of the day, I don't want anything bad to happen to these kids. I don't want anything bad to happen to these coaches. Like this sucks for the kid. I hate to see it.
Me too. And God, the nonsense that like Zach Taylor, Duke Tobin have to put up with is
I
unbelievable.
that's the craziest part is I think they're both pretty good at their jobs. Like Duke
Yeah.
Tobin has one of the hardest GM jobs in the entire league. Zach
Mhm.
Taylor, granted, he gets to coach Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and T. Higgins, which is a nice, little cherry on top. But like he has to deal with this S every year. Like he had to go into last season and like preach confidence in the Bengals after he watched his defense get gutted and like not have anyone who's worth a damn.
You get Al Golden back. Lou Anarumo was good there for a while.
Yeah.
Maybe don't let Jesse Bates walk.
Yeah, maybe, and if you do let him walk, maybe replace him. Don't just like be like, oh, we're good. Don't worry
Nah, we're
about
fine.
it.
Um, I'm just gonna say this bold prediction here, just because it's in the topic of here. Um, I have the Tennessee Titans win the AFC South this year
Love that. Love that. Cam Ward Hive.
because like I feel like Houston's kind of squandered it. We'll see if they could do it, and I think you could argue maybe the Colts have upside too.
I
Maybe
will
the
not argue
Jags.
that. I will not argue that.
No, but like somebody's got to do it. Cam Ward,
Yeah.
mostly because I think Brian Callahan's really good.
I think I don't hate that at all. I also really like Brian Callahan. I will say that I think that the NFC South is getting the flack that the AFC South deserves more this year, and
Yeah,
the fact that like I'm not sure any of these teams in this division are actually good.
no.
And like
Well,
I'm pretty sure the Falcons and Bucks are pretty good.
I think the Panthers are decent. So
Yeah.
like, we'll
Like
talk about that.
I think the Colts could be the worst team in the NFL. Like I truly believe
Yes,
that. Anthony Richardson and Daniel Jones quarterback room not set up for success.
you got a ownership succession. How much loyalty do they have to Shane Steichen? And maybe they'll just finally go to Chris Ballard, get a guy who's not just uh,
uh,
you know,
I have a very Galaxy brain, Cody's very tired comparison.
love it.
Chris Ballard is the Jimbo Fisher of NFL GMs.
God, I love it. And they could both go work for Astronomer.
That's right.
Dad said a lot of all good of mine in our meetings.
That's right.
All right, a guy who's I don't know if maybe he's the Chris Ballard of SEC head coaches, but he's really hurting his reputation right now with some Big Ten energy. Eli Drinkwitz, what in God's green earth are you doing here, man? Like it is. I'm gonna try to say this as fairly without swearing. Maybe you can only bleep out the words everything I say outside of mother and whole, but he is just being an absolute coward about this. Everybody in the SEC pretty much wants 5+11.
Mhm.
Lane Kiffin wants 16 at large or 16 best teams.
Of course he does. I love Lane so much.
Eli Drinkwitz wants to follow in the Big Ten where like, 4 automatic qualifier spots because his little Mizzou Tigers just finished like top 25 every year.
Mhm.
And it's just, he's like, I know he's a glass guy on SEC media. Maybe that's why they put him there. It's like just to basically news dump him because that was just it's like Mizzou, you've been in the SEC for a decade. Like, can you stop being such an effing joke?
I mean, it's extreme little brother behavior. They put him on last at SEC Media Day because they needed the hot air to stay in the room until he got up there, and he's going to suck it all out. You know he is. But no, you're 100% right. It's a very cowardly take. It's just, like I said, it's a little brother take. Like, it is, please give us a handout. Like, Kirby Smart would, like, even if Kirby Smart was at a program that wasn't Georgia, Like, think if Kirby Smart was at Missouri. I think Missouri would probably be better than they are now. But more importantly than that, let's say he just takes over in this exact same position. He's not going to be preaching this because, frankly, this sends a bad message to your program, sends a bad message to your players, sends a bad message to your boosters. This to me says we're looking for not necessarily a handout. Like, there is something you do have to earn if you're going to earn an AQ spot, but at the same time, you are kind of looking for a handout. Like, we want a little bit of special treatment because we play in the SEC. What have you done in the SEC? You haven't done jackass. You haven't done a damn thing. I'm still cognizant enough to censor myself.
That's good.
You haven't done anything in this league though, and so for like this take holds no weight to me because it's someone who has not accomplished anything in the league that they're talking about earning an automatic qualifier spot. They might have been close the past couple years, but I would venture to guess that if we were working with 4 automatic qualifier spots, there's maybe 1 year where Missouri might have snuck in. But Missouri is Baylor. Missouri is Northwestern. Missouri is Illinois. Missouri is the program that is not going to sustain success in a power league. And to me, this reads like, rather than like putting in the work and building the program to where even if you do have those pop years, like, you still want that handout in those pop years. You don't want to earn that spot in those pop years. And like, that's what really bothers me about it.
I don't even know who the second SEC coach who would be in favor of this. I think like I could even name one. Like
No.
Clark Lee would never say this. Mark Stoops would never.
Clark
say
Lee's
this.
an alpha. There's no way Clark Lee's saying this.
Mark Stoops probably wouldn't do it either, but
No.
like maybe that's the next one. But like so I was looking at this. So keep in mind, if they would have had a 12-team playoff in 23, Mizzou would have made it.
Mm-hmm.
So this is so little brother. Like it's we live in a world where Indiana can make the playoff. Like, come on, man, this isn't that hard.
Yes, exactly.
SMU can make the playoff.
Yes.
Arizona State can make the playoff. Like, this is not
Holler preach, man. Like you're preaching the gospel because like this is one of the, like it's just it doesn't make any sense for me for Missouri to be saying this. And like, I think it makes even less sense because we think Missouri is going to be pretty bad this year, like all things considered, especially relative. Like, I understand they have Bo Pribula coming in from Penn State. I don't think Bo Pribula is that damn good. Like, I think he's fine. And I think that Missouri will find a way to use him in proper ways to make him functional. But like, I don't think that's necessarily going to happen in 2025. And I also don't think that he's like the highest of upside. Like, it is a very weird thing for a program in this spot, the head coach of a program in this spot, to hold this opinion when you have ostensibly been the little brother since you joined the SEC.
100%. So I'm looking this up, make sure I got this right, seeing where they're playing this game at. I'm going on Step Up, so I'm going to probably get some like, God, where
Malware.
Okay, so they are rekindling border war this year.
Okay,
it's going to be at Fairweather Field. KU is going to win that game.
Love that. Let's do it.
Just because Lance Leipold's not afraid.
No, Lance Leipold's not afraid of anything. He took the Kansas job. You're not afraid of anything if you take the Kansas job.
So if we would have gone, I got a lot of thoughts here. This is the thing that's been occupying my brain. I'm like, it's just going nuts here.
Hell yeah.
So if he would have kicked it out to 5+11 last year, these are the 4 teams that would have made it that did not. Alabama, Miami, Ole Miss, South Carolina.
Yeah. Missouri not listed.
Your next 3 teams would have been, the conundrum where like, okay, BYU, Iowa State. Then it's Missouri, Illinois, Army. And at that point, like, you're good teams, but you're not playoff caliber. Like, once you get past like the BYU with Jake Retzlaff, Rocco Beckett, Iowa State, it's like, you're not there.
No, you're not. And like, we talk about the Big 12 a lot. And like, one of the things we say is there's not really an elite team in the Big 12. There wasn't last year, and there's not really this year either. That's kind of the defining trait of the Big 12 and why the Big 12 is a hell of a lot of fun. But like, the what we're talking about is right in there. There's not an elite team in the Big 12, and you're right there with those 2 top of the Big 12 teams. And like, you're not elite. Like, you're just not. And like, I understand that Indiana, when they played the higher level of competition, things did not go their way. Obviously, you got outclassed a little bit. But at the same time, in every other instance, you proved like they looked elite in getting to that spot and earning their spot in the college football playoff. There has not been a time since Eli Drinkwitz got to Missouri where I've looked at Missouri and been like, that's an elite team. Like, I've been like, it's a good team. It's a fun team. That team might be able to pull off an upset that they're not, in a game they're not projected to win against a better team. But at no point have I been like, you know what? I have full confidence that this team's going to go out there and get the job done and make it like, make the college football playoff a conversation.
I mean, you almost beat Georgia in 22, so that's like your best
But
win.
you didn't.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. And Georgia went 15-0 and go Dogs. And but the other thing is, so with the 5+11 model, it seems as though like five highest ranked champions plus 11 at large. It seems like every independent's in favor of this.
Mhm.
Every group of five conference is in favor of this. The ACC is in favor of this. The Big 12 is in favor of this. And every SEC head coach, with the exception of Eli Drinkwitz, is in favor of this. And I think there's even some SEC administrators that are in favor of it. The big thing is they want to know if the SEC is going to have to go to 9 conference games, if they're going to get punished for it. And they're just the Big Ten, just being just a bunch of just entitled sad boys.
Yeah. I mean, well, if we're being really honest and you really want to break this down, when you think about the middle class of the Big Ten, which we've talked about is weaker than the middle class of the SEC.
Yes.
Just historically in most years. But Missouri would fall right in that middle class of the Big Ten. So really this is a super this tracks. Like this is an Iowa opinion. This is a Illinois opinion. I don't think Brett Bielema would actually I think if you asked him, he would probably be like, just whatever, we'll try and make the playoff no matter what. But
I don't think PJ Fleck or Jonathan Smith would say this.
No, God, no. PJ Fleck would say something incoherent that had nothing to do with the college football playoff.
It'd be about an oar in a boat or something like that. Sweater vest, cashmere. And then the last thing I had that I want to make sure I got this. I got them all out. This is good. I've extracted all of it.
Hell yeah.
We've always known that there's going to be a heel turn with Eli Drinkwitz as the alpha nerd because this is how supervillains are made.
Yeah, 100%.
And we ask about I don't think he's going to finish his career coaching in Missouri.
I do not.
I think he's had a lot of success there. Certainly turned around to what it was. Barry Odom was not ready for this. I don't know if he's got it quite to Gary Pinkel prime years. He's not going through the drive-through at Taco Bell at Chase Daniel and playing Gabbert, where you at? But he's got them to a respectable level. I feel like when we do our top 25, we're probably gonna have Mizzou probably in and around that range for the most part. Just I don't know, Mizzou, but whatever. I feel like if he were to leave, the three jobs he would leave for are all in the SEC. Like if Billy Napier fails, maybe he goes and brings his visor down to Florida. He's from Arkansas. So if Sam Pittman fails, maybe you go get him. Maybe that's why Gus Malzahn did the gap year at FSU, because he'll go back to alma mater. But I think the one job that would really make sense is the place where he cut his teeth as a coach, Auburn, under Gene Chizik's staff. You can't say this at Auburn. You can't even say this at Arkansas, man.
That's literally what was just going through my head was Auburn. Auburn fans want to burn Hugh Freeze at the stake for playing golf. And now you're talking about an actual bad college football take. Auburn fans would riot if their head coach had an opinion like this.
And that's your dream job too. You can't.
I mean, I'm sitting here thinking there's no connection other than I think just personality wise, he would fit perfectly. Man, Eli Drinkwitz looks a lot like a USC head coach, and I mean modern USC. I don't mean Pete Carroll. I mean modern USC.
That's why you gotta get Matt Campbell, pay him whatever it costs.
All the entitlement in the world without actually having done anything.
What do you think Lincoln Riley is going to be doing next year?
I mean,
I know what you're thinking. I hope it doesn't happen.
Yeah, I just hope it's not in Dallas. That's what I'll say.
You know what I think is going to happen? He's going to replace my OC, Zach Robinson, in Miami, because Zach Robinson's going to be a head coach. Because
I don't hate that.
12 wins. It's going to be some nonsense again. But
I think an ego check might not be the worst thing for Lincoln Riley. So going to be an OC somewhere might actually work out, because we give Lincoln Riley a lot of flack, and I think deservedly so. But the thing about Lincoln Riley, I don't think he's bad at calling an offense, building an offense.
No, his offense with 11 personnel in the NFL would work. It's what we run. The only thing is, I think TJ Yates is probably next up. Homegrown guy. Yeah.
Shoot, shouts Tar Heels always.
Yeah, he went to my rival high school, Pope. So Rosemary and I, the Arizona State podcast, were talking about opening up Greyhound compound.
Hell yes.
Maybe we'll talk about that on Summer Fling. I don't know.
Dude, hell yeah.
Just rules You just give them a whole house, and they just live in the house.
They're just there. Like it's just Greyhounds. I don't know.
uh, Eli Drinkwitz, like, remember how we mentioned like Hotsy, like I'd be shocked if he got fired, but like he's in that middle eight of the SEC,
Yeah.
right? It could happen.
Yeah,
He's
100%.
not untouchable.
No, he shouldn't be.
No, 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 no. He should not be untouchable. But I bet you he rocks out to Ramstein. You think about that?
100%.
Let's move on to some Du Hast for Du Hast here. Filling out the show here. This is a really fun, interesting exercise. So Joel Klatt, where you at, was really, really high on Mark Gronowski. Basically, he's like, the SEC media days is going on. I got to talk about literally anything else because I hate my life.
Oh God,
um,
never change, Joel Klatt. You're amazing.
But we did talk about this on a previous episode. Like he has Iowa as one of the 10 teams that could make the playoff for the first time ever. I had them at 10, just over Iowa
Mhm.
State. And they were in consideration for you, but Du Hast. Could Mark Gronowski be the difference maker to get Iowa into the playoff for the first time ever?
So I'm gonna say Duhas 1S because I think that if Iowa does go on a run where they are flirting with a college football playoff berth, it is because of Mark Gronowski. Like, when has Iowa had a quarterback who is capable of the things that this kid is? Like a dual threat quarterback who can do both at a high level. Like
Brad Banks. Like,
been a minute. It's
yeah.
been a minute.
Like if you have the second best quarterback in Iowa history behind, well, I guess now Kinnick was like pre-date, but like
Yeah.
Chuck Long, Brad Banks, like if you're at that level of a player for like
Yeah.
for Iowa, like that's huge for you. You're not dealing with like the Brody Coral of Iowa City, Ricky Stanzi.
God help us all, Ricky Stanzi.
um,
We should do like a Bizarro guys remembering dudes of just guys who we would just remember sucking. That'd be a great segment.
the Jonathan Crompton Award.
That's right.
Oh God. But yeah, I'm right there with you. Du Hast 1S because like look, Gronowski's won the Walter Payton trophy twice at South Dakota State. We've seen Jimmy Rogers is now taking over at Washington State. Like this is a program that we think if they really wanted to, along with North Dakota State, like they could join FBS and compete at a very high level.
Hell yeah.
So I think Gronowski, like, look, perfect example. Look at Indiana from last year.
Yeah.
Curtis Rourke had a lot of success at Ohio U. He goes and midway through his first year at Indiana, hurts his knee, still played well. Like, I think Gronowski could do that. Also, the fact it's year two with Tim Lester as the OC and not Brian Ferentz anymore, that could be good. We know Iowa's going to have good defense and special teams. Same thing with Georgia. So, but like a far, far, far worse offense.
Yeah, no, like I mean, we know that Phil Parker and this defense are going to be nasty. Like they are every single year. Like it is, you can set your watch to it when it comes to Iowa. But like I do think that like you mentioned a really good point with this being year two of Tim Lester. Like there were times last year where Iowa's offense did not look that bad.
Yeah.
Certainly, it on the whole it looked miles better than it did with Brian Ferentz, but it really felt like a personnel issue. Like it was Tim Lester trying to run a functional offense with the Ferentz as players. Now
Yeah.
Tim Lester's able to get like his guys in there, someone like Mark Gronowski, and be like, look, this guy can accomplish what I'm trying to do. And like, I think we sometimes underestimate how important just having dudes that you actually want to coach actually matters for these coordinators.
And we saw last year, like Brendan Sullivan played pretty well
Mhm.
down the stretch for Iowa. He transfers to Tulane,
Mhm.
who we're very high on in the group of five. Gronowski's like Sellers. It's like there's a certain thing where he can elevate that team. And my big point was, look in the Big Ten for the time being with Oregon, Ohio State, Penn State, like even in down years, they're still going to be playoff contenders.
Mhm.
Like they're going to be like first four out at a worst case scenario. Like they're going to go
Right.
9-3. Excuse me. But like the fourth best team in the Big Ten until Michigan or USC get their ass together.
My money's on Michigan there, but continue.
yeah, eventually. But like whoever has a really good quarterback is going to make up a difference. Obviously, Fernando Mendoza at Indiana could be that. But
Yeah.
maybe Dylan Raiola does that at Nebraska. Maybe Damon Williams Jr. at Washington. Maybe Washington gets their stuff together too, which I think could happen. But like that is a separating factor here. And maybe Michigan State with Aiden Childs. But Gronowski has had so many starts. This is a guy that like it wouldn't shock me if he was a top 100 pick next year.
No, not at all. And like he's a And I think like we've seen Iowa play for Big Ten championships with an offense that's not functional.
No.
Like,
Yeah.
and like at minimum, I have a lot of faith that Mark Gronowski makes this offense functional and it perhaps makes it good. And if this Iowa offense is good, like that's a world that we haven't really lived in.
If you go 10-2, like you win Cyhawks, so you have a quality non-conference game. You get somebody in the Big Ten. I don't know if you're going to beat like Penn State or whatever, but like you go 10-2, one of those every Olympiad, you get a Kirk Ferentz spite year, and
Oh
that's how you get
yeah.
to Indianapolis. Indianapolis. It doesn't work now because of the there's no divisions there, but Mark Gronowski could be. I mean, he could be the most fun offensive player to play for Iowa since Sean Green.
Yeah. 100%. And like I would say non-running back division, there's been some fun
Yeah,
running backs that have come through there, but like,
yeah.
yeah.
It's fine, but yeah, very. I was pleasantly surprised to hear you be pro Gronowski with this.
Yeah, I mean, like it's just logic, man. Like we make fun of Iowa because their offense has been so bad, and now we have a offensive coordinator who we like, a quarterback who we like, and like holy hell, they might be functional for once in their lives. And like I don't know what that means, but like if if Iowa does compete for a college football playoff spot, I don't know how you don't look at the quarterback change and like everything that's changed offensively and not think that that's the the reason behind it.
Tinfoil hat. We'll do that for we'll wear tinfoil hats or a conspiracy thing. I think Kirk Ferentz is holding out till he makes the playoff and he's gonna retire.
I literally just had that thought while we were having this discussion. I I got a little bit of ADHD. I know everyone's probably aware of that just by
Yeah,
listening to me talk ever. But like when I'm tired, it goes into overdrive. And so like I apologize. I've zoned out in every conversation that we've had today at some
that's
point,
fine.
just thinking about something tangentially related. This was more tangentially related than others because I was like, what if they do make the playoff and then Kirk Ferentz retires? Like that just seems like a very old man way to want to go out.
What if Utah wins the Big 12? So it's the 7-10. Utah hosting Iowa.
Yo, play it at 4 p.m. and call it the early bird special. Let's go.
Swoop and Herky, man, they're having a
Let's
time.
ride. It's meatloaf. Let's ride. Let's ride.
There's gonna be no bushlight left in Salt Lake City.
Not even a little bit.
If we can't get South Carolina, Oregon, that's what I want.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
And I couldn't get a slice of key lime pie. I got a bit of cream pie, but let's have a slice of pumpkin pie to finish the show up.
Yes, sir.
Jordan Reed wrote this for ESPN.com, basically outlining like who could be the number one overall pick in the 2026 NFL draft. He has 4 serious contenders, 3 potential risers, and 7 long shots. So I guess to kind of do the table, like we're not gonna just kind of on the fly. I was thinking about this, put a dude on a team, bro. Like if we have like get like 5 or 6 teams that we think could have the number one pick, and that probably makes it
Yeah.
simple. The only 2 teams I know for a fact are going to suck are the Saints and Giants.
Yeah, Saints and Giants are going to be pretty bad. I'm throwing the Colts in there. I think the Colts are going to be, I mentioned earlier, I think they're going to be freaking terrible.
I think there's a chance the Dolphins just implode.
I don't know if I put them in my top. Like, I'm not
No.
arguing with you. I think you're right, but I also think there's a chance that they're just decent again and they win like 9 games.
Well, who else is going to be really bad in the AFC than if it's like, the Colts, like,
Let's see. I'm gonna pull up some Super Bowl odds and see if I can glean some things here. All right. Oh, the Browns. The
okay,
Browns
the
are gonna be
Browns,
very bad.
Browns are going to be bad. Trying to think who else could be bad.
I mean, the Jets could be bad as well because
The
like
Jets.
it depends on if you believe in Justin Fields or not.
Okay, Jets, Browns, Colts, and who else is going to be bad in the NFC besides the Saints and the Giants?
That's much tougher, honestly.
Yeah, because like you could be really down on like I don't know,
Because like
like
I mean, like one option would in theory be like the Arizona Cardinals, but I think you and I are both optimistic about the Arizona Cardinals this
yeah,
year.
I've got them winning the NFC West.
Yeah. So like
Like you
I,
could
I
be
think there's a world, and this is probably a hot take, but I also hate Brock Purdy. But
yeah,
I think there's a world where the 49ers are pretty bad.
they finished last year. That could happen. I mean, I think there's teams like the Falcons, Buccaneers,
The
Cowboys.
entirety of the NFC South, or the bottom of the NFC South, like the Panthers are kind of in the Dolphins category for me. Like, I could see a world where things do not go well, and maybe what we saw at the end of last year from Bryce Young was a complete aberration. And like, if that happens, they're gonna suck
Like
real bad.
there's only three teams in the NFC that I feel like are locks to make the playoff. That's Philadelphia, Washington, and I don't think Detroit's going to bottom out.
No, I don't think that. I don't think. I think there's a good chance that they don't win the NFC North necessarily, but I
Yeah,
don't think that. Like, I think they're too good to bottom out.
and I would be shocked if Green Bay didn't make the playoff either, because
Yeah,
like they're like the Steelers, but like a much more likable version of the Steelers right now.
and better. But yes.
Also better. Also trade for a star. Like stop being just go get TJ Watt. Just give him a
Get
city in
Trey
Wisconsin.
Henderson, who's still
Yeah, just
available.
do it.
Just do it.
Do it. Like you were great when you had Reggie White and Charles Woodson. If you didn't do those two acquisitions of free agency, you haven't won a Super Bowl since Bardefic Star.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like,
Oh man. Yeah. If I even didn't know, but like, so that's what we got there. It's like the bottom six teams. So we got Colts, we got Saints, we got Giants, we got Jets, we got 49ers, and we got Browns. Okay.
yeah, yeah. Yeah,
So
missing on the like not thinking of the Browns immediately was a big miss by us.
that's I think we just like Stefanski and Andrew Berry a lot. So
I like the infrastructure. I just think the players that they got, they're kind of bad.
yeah, it's not really their cup of tea. So I guess phone's acting up here for a little second. You're okay, now we're good. Yeah, I was not keeping time. We're back. We're a little over an hour of the show. We're gonna wrap this thing up here with the next 2 minutes. I promise.
You're good, man. We're good. We're rocking.
So let's kind of look at these tiers, and then just kind of have some thoughts about this. So serious contenders, you've got Lenore Sellers, Cade Klubnik, Drew Aller, and Garrett Nussmeier. I would venture to guess that Drew Aller is a serious contender for number one. It's kind of a joke. Like he's not going number one.
I mean, it's not impossible, but he's going to need to do a lot this year to make that happen. Like, I was saying that Garrett Nussmeier could have been the number one pick in last year's draft. So, like, I'm obviously partial to that take.
I was reading this article. He's like 6'5". Is that with the broccoli? Is he 6'7" with the broccoli?
Oh, I think he's 6'7" with the broccoli, baby. He's got the Brock Osweiler height when you throw in the veggies.
Yeah, that's what I love here. So between Sellers, Klubnik, and Nussmeier, who is your probably most likely first overall pick?
I'm high on Nussmeier. We know this, but I would actually say Sellers because we obviously love Lenore Sellers here, but there's also like a lot of refinement that needs to be done. Like he made progressions as a passer last year. He is in no way ready to be an NFL quarterback right now. But if he makes the leaps, like continues progressing on like the exponential chart that we're looking at right now, none of the other guys have the tools that this kid has, man.
Yeah, I was about to go Klubnik, and then I realized he's basically my size. I mean, I weigh more than him.
Yeah, he's listed at 6'2". I'm not so sure.
You look at the ultimate prototype for all four of these guys. Sellers is Cam Newton or Josh Allen, Big Ben. Like that's
which
awesome.
Cam Newton was the number one overall pick, for a reason, and Josh Allen like wasn't because at the time he didn't know how to throw a football.
Drew Aller, it's JJ McCarthy, Zach Wilson. I'm sure there's other players that are in that category too, but I can't think beyond that. We look at Nussmeier, that's like Matthew Stafford, that's Sam Darnold, that's Justin Herbert.
Yeah. That's your like built in the lab like 1990s quarterback prototype.
It could also be Blake Bortles. Unfortunately.
Work construction.
Yeah. He's got better hair game than Bortles too. And this
that's
is
right.
Start. And then I guess with Klubnik, it's like Drew Brees, Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, I was gonna go Baker Mayfield. That's kind of what I see.
Yeah, like Jackson Dart.
Kind of like a gamer.
Okay, so that's kind of how we're feeling with that. So feeling good about that. Let's move on to the potential risers. Fernando Mendoza, edge rusher TJ Parker out of Clemson, Arch Manning out of Texas. I understand that Arch Manning could. I'm not there. I can't get there with Fernando Mendoza as the number one pick. TJ Parker, maybe if the 49ers have number one pick.
Yeah, and like hypothetically speaking, this is not a scenario I think is likely because I don't think he's very good. But like, let's say Tyler Shuck comes out and plays pretty well, but like the Saints are just that roster's terrible, top to bottom. But like, let's say Tyler Shuck's pretty good.
Right.
there's a chance that, the Saints don't need a quarterback in there. Again, I'm not projecting that because I think Tyler Shuck is going to be booty cheeks. But like, I think that it is possible that the Saints could. But again, of these three, I think TJ Parker is by far the most likely. But mostly because I don't think Arch Manning is going to be in this draft.
Mendoza might. I think Mendoza has another year of
Yeah,
eligibility. He just he runs a lot, but he just kind of seems like he looks kind of small to me.
yeah. And I do think that I think it's more likely that we see Fernando Mendoza go back to school.
Yeah.
But if he were to come out, like, it's something I've talked about, and like, honestly, the reason why I've been banging the drum, banging the table that Arch Manning's going back to Texas for 2026 is that experience matters more than anything in the world. And like, Fernando Mendoza has a lot of college experience. He doesn't have a lot of positive college experience. Like, the last couple years at Cal have not gone particularly well.
I think a couple of weeks ago we talked about quarterbacks who go in the first round besides Arch Manning, and I think the guy Sarah Bettinger wrote this for
Yeah.
NFL Spin Zone, and he had the Rams picking 10th with the Falcons pick, taking Fernando Mendoza, and I'm like, there was a lot of wrong with that first round pick, but like I could see him going to the Rams, like in
Oh
like
yeah.
the 20s. That could be pretty good because I think Atlanta's gonna be picking like 17, 18 if it's bad, or like if it's
Yeah.
good, they're picking like 24.
Yeah. 100%.
But I could see Mendoza going there. And then let's move down to the last seven guys. You got John Mateer, Oklahoma quarterback. Love that. Sam Levitt, Arizona State quarterback. Peter Woods, defensive tackle out of Clemson. Spencer Fano, offensive tackle out of Utah. Caden Proctor out of Alabama, the offensive tackle. Isaiah World, offensive tackle out of Oregon, and then Caleb Downs out of Ohio State safety. Um, Caleb Downs, man. Yeah. Oh yeah.
No, we're not doing it.
No, the Colts would take him. They need a safety net. They still know if Anthony Richardson can play.
Just let Caleb Downs play quarterback if you're gonna do that. Like, Jesus.
Um, the John Mateer one intrigues me.
So my thing with John Mateer is he has the Cade Klubnik issue. He's
Yeah,
not the biggest guy in the world. But like, I think of these names, he is definitely the one that intrigues me most. Like, I'm of the belief, and this is just kind of like game theory in terms of the draft, but like, I don't think an offensive tackle is ever going to go number one overall again.
no,
And it's not to say a quarterback's going to go number one overall every year, but like, I just don't think an offensive tackle is going to go number one overall. Frankly, because we've seen so many misses at tackles who did go number one overall and better tackles taken behind them. And so like, I look at this and I'm discounting all of the offensive tackles in this. Sam Levitt, I think, just needs a little bit of refinement. And
yeah,
honestly, he suffers from being a little tiny himself too, if we're being honest. Like, he's got an arm of a dude who's 6'5", Garrett Nussmeier size, but he's not. And so, but like, John Mateer has the play style of if you're going to overcome those size limitations, he has the play style of someone who could win over enough people to make that happen.
yeah. Because his prototype is the Tony Romo, Joe Burrow, Deshaun Watson coming out. We know how that's Cam Ward. Like we've
Yeah.
seen that. This
Yeah.
this works. People love that. That translates very well because it's like you're truly a point guard at quarterback, and
Right.
teams love that.
Yeah. And I mean, it gives you an out early in your career. Like, I think that's like when I watched Bryce Young in his first year with the Panthers when he was really struggling. I never looked at him and like, well, I mean, I did because he is small, but like, I never looked at him and I was like, size is the issue right here, or the primary issue right here. It certainly did cause some problems at time. The thing I looked at with Bryce Young was I was like, he doesn't have like a get out of jail free card. He
Right.
doesn't like at Alabama he would move around in the pocket and like create a little bit. But when he got up against the NFL athletes, he didn't necessarily have that. Now we saw a little bit of that at the end of last year and a little bit more freedom, it seemed like, in his game. And lo and behold, he started playing well. It's crazy. But like, when you have that mobility, it gives offensive coordinators and it gives your offensive line kind of a trump card. Like, you don't have to be perfect for this for this young NFL player to necessarily succeed. It gives you something to buy time, buy plays, and like improvise a little bit when things aren't going to plan. And like, I think for rookie quarterbacks, we underestimate how valuable that can be.
I'm kind of the belief, like, so here's kind of my thought. I haven't really factored material to this equation as much. Like, I don't know if he's got any more eligibility. Maybe
I
he's
honestly have
out.
no clue.
I'm kind of the belief that like there's a chance Sellers may go back. I'm
Hmm.
expecting Arch to do it, and I'm expecting uh Levitt to do it.
Yeah,
Whereas like Nussmeyer, Aller, and Klubnik are all going pro.
right. I think that's definitely the right buckets to put those guys in.
So just trying to visualize people on teams. Nussmeyer on the Saints, go play for his dad.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense.
Lenora Sellers, where do you like to see him play?
Like or think, because those are two different questions.
That's true.
I I think he could end up with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Oh yeah.
I
I
think he
would
would make a lot of sense.
I would like him to play for the Colts.
That would be cool. I can actually I would also like that. If Chris Ballard is as the GM, there's no shot in hell that happens
No,
because you just whiffed on Anthony Richardson.
no, you go get somebody else out there. Like, hey, Thomas Dimitrov, you want to be a GM again? Come on down.
Yeah,
He's like,
yeah,
I'm not gonna mess around. I drafted Matt Ryan number 3 overall. I'll take Sellers 3 overall.
exactly. Yeah.
Klubnik, what kind of what fits for him?
Dolphins.
I
Dolphins
like
would make a
that.
lot of sense. I think
Dolphins.
that would look good. And also like if I'm the Dolphins, I would do that and keep Mike McDaniel, honestly. Because I think Cade Klubnik and a Mike McDaniel offense is pretty sick.
And Drew Aller, I don't have to think very much about this. Browns.
Oh
He's
yeah,
from there. Yeah.
100%.
Caleb Downs. Put him on the sounds like a jet. God, put him
The
sounds
Jets will
funny.
take him in the top five for sure.
All right. And then Caden Proctor, I feel like he's the first offensive tackle off the board. Maybe Niners.
Yeah, Niners will make a lot of sense. Trent Williams is no spring chicken.
No, no, he's not.
I mean, he's huge, and I would never say that to his face, but he's not young.
So we mentioned Mendoza to the Rams. If you got a team for material, you think that makes sense?
I'm trying to think of like offensive minds that I could get behind. I wonder.
No, that would not work. Actually, that would not work at all.
What were you gonna say? You got to tell me now.
I was gonna say the Raiders.
That's what I was thinking as well. And that's what I was kind of working through right there.
Uh, Raiders could work. Honestly, if Trevor Lawrence sucks, put him in
Yeah,
Jacksonville.
I like that. Get him with Liam Cohen. I think
Yeah,
that'd be a lot of fun.
he just grows his hair out. It's the same thing.
I mean, also like Liam Cohen made Will Levis a draft pick, and like John Mateer is like, what if Will Levis was good and like a little bit smaller?
I love that so much. So that was fun, but like realistically, of these 14 guys, how many people do you think could go number one? Just to close it up.
I'm gonna say like three, honestly.
Yeah.
Like I think it comes down to I think you're looking at Sellers, Nussmeyer, and Klubnik, honestly. Just like with like maybe 3.25, because I'll give Aller some chance of that just because, but like the leap that he has to make in comparison to these other guys is so substantial.
There's no other player. Even though I like Spencer Fano, is probably my favorite. Like, and him and Caleb Downs are probably my two favorite like non-quarterbacks here. A quarterback's going to go 1-26. Like
Yeah.
this is inevitable.
Yeah, like that's the thing is like I rolled my eyes at Caleb Downs. He's probably the best player in the 2026 NFL draft.
Yeah.
He just plays safety, which is not great for your
No.
draft stock.
No, no, not at all. But like, if Jeremiah Smith was in this draft, maybe he goes one.
Oh yeah, 100%. 100%. I just when you were talking about North Dakota State and South Dakota State potentially like joining FBS, I imagined them in the Big Ten and like imagined what Jeremiah Smith would have to do in like Bismarck.
I don't know, but I think he'd have 193 receiving yards because this was episode 193 of False Start. You can follow me, John Buhler, on Twitter or the X at Buhler118. You can follow Cody Williams at the Sizzle20. You can follow the show at CFB False Start. Like, rate, listen, subscribe, review on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, anywhere there's podcasts. Give us a 5-star review. It would really help the show grow. Also, while you're at it, you gotta hit that subscribe button. Like, I don't know, just hit it.
Like Scotty Scheffler,
like Scotty Scheffler,
major champion.
Yeah,
I don't know, man.
And then smash it like he does. Eating at Chili's.
That's a dude loves some chilies.
uh,
Closing time.
time.
Time to go to
Chili's.
Chili's.
I feel God in this Chili's. Valhalla, here I come. And this is False Start.